Hey guys, it's Sarah and welcome back to another video. So for today's video, I just wanted to sit down and talk to you guys and give you like a reading update and let you guys know some of the things that have been happening in my reading life. Today, I'm going to be giving you guys a library haul. I'm going to be telling you guys some of my recent faves, and I'm also going to be sharing some of my recent DNFs. So first, let's begin with the library haul. So lately, I have been loving going to my local library, and I think it's because just nothing on my bookshelf is like exciting me enough. I don't want to really pick up anything that I have on there. And normally when that happens, I'll look on like Kindle Unlimited, but I've been really just loving reading physical books lately. I just haven't been wanting to read on my Kindle. So there are a few books that I checked out that I've just been really excited about reading and getting the physical copy of to be able to read as well. These are the ones that I checked out. I will actually show you guys. The first one that I checked out was kind of impulsive. I saw it and I liked the art style, and I didn't really read the back. I kind of read the synopsis a little bit, but not that much. I read enough to where I was like, okay, we'll try it out. It's a graphic novel. So the first book I have is Ready or Not by Andy Peretta. This is a graphic novel, and it is about Cassie and her friends. Cassie's not going to college. Her friends are, and just the summer that they're having and a bunch of trials and tribulations that they go through. I actually finished this a little bit before I started filming. I gave it 2.75 stars. I rounded it up for Goodreads to 3, but I really liked the art style. I just didn't really connect with the characters. I either didn't connect with the characters or I didn't really like the characters. So yeah, it was a little bit of both for that one. The story was kind of long in my opinion, especially with just what's happening and the things that they're going through. I feel like it kind of dragged. I feel like it definitely could have been a shorter graphic novel. Is that an ad playing? Y'all, I didn't know the video was gonna have the ads playing in the back. I'm embarrassed. But yeah, it just wasn't, I enjoyed, do I want to say I enjoyed the story? The story was long, but I wanted to finish it. But I really just didn't really connect with the characters or like them very much, to be honest. So yeah, 2.75 stars for this one. The next book I am super excited about. We have Dating and Dragons by Christy Boyce. I read Dungeons and Drama and I gave it 5 stars. I love that book. It was so swoon worthy and I absolutely loved all of the characters in there, and it made me want to play Dungeons and Dragons so bad. I've been trying to get a game going with my boyfriend and his friends, but we haven't gotten there yet. But my character, my person, it's in my head. I've got them like figured out a little bit. But the game is so like complex. When I was looking at like the guidebook, the game is so complex, but I will be playing with someone at some point with some people. I love Dungeons and Drama down bad. So I was so happy when my library finally got a copy of Dating and Dragons. I listened to Dungeons and Drama, so I'm so excited to read the physical copy of this one. And I know it's just going to be just as awesome and just as swoon worthy and just as nerdy as the first book. Like, I am so super excited about this. I think Dungeons and Drama is one of my favorite YA novels. It's in my top 3. I'll read the synopsis on the back because, like I said, I'm not good at explaining the plots of books. Not on my own. So I'm going to read the synopsis on the back for you guys. Quinn Norden is starting over at a new high school in hopes that joining a D&D game will be the trick to making friends. The plan sounds even better when she's invited into a group that includes Logan Weber, the cute and charming guy she met on her first day of class. But this isn't your average D&D campaign. This group live streams their games and enforces strict rules. No phones allowed and no dating other group members. Quinn is willing to accept the rules even if it makes Logan off limits, and she quickly learns that doing so won't be a problem, since Logan goes from charismatic to insufferable as soon as she agrees to join. As their bickering and bantering intensifies inside and outside the game, Quinn can't help wondering, is Logan's infuriating behavior a smokescreen for hidden feelings? Quinn is risking it all, and the 20-sided dice are rolling. So that is my no better time than reading. I'm starting this today. But yeah, that is Dating and Dragons, and I just know it's going to be a 5-star read. I know I'm going to love this. I know I'm going to eat this up. I haven't read any of Christy Boyce's other books. I know she has Hot British Boyfriend and things like that. I think those are pretty well known in the YA book space. Yeah, Hot British Boyfriend, Hot Dutch Boyfriend, or Hot Dutch, what is it? Daydream. Yeah, I haven't read that one, but maybe after I finish this one, I'll add those two to the TBR. The next book that I have is actually the last in the series, I believe. It's the last in the series, and it's my favorite Kindle Unlimited sports series, and I was so happy that my library actually had a physical copy of it, because like I said, I've just been really wanting to read physical copies of books. And so when I saw that this book was at the library, I was like, oh, I need to get that right now. And when I wanted to check it out, somebody had already checked it out. But I made sure I checked. I did my check-in every day, and when I saw that it was returned, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go get that. We have Wicked Served by Grace Riley. It is the 4th book in the Beyond the Play series. Yes, it is the 4th book in the Beyond the Play series. And I really have enjoyed this series. I read Breakaway first, which is the 2nd book. And then I read First Down, and then I read Stealing Home. And Breakaway, I think, is my favorite in the series. I remember First Down, I believe I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't my favorite. And then Stealing Home, I kind of remember nothing about, but I don't remember having any bad thoughts about that one. But Breakaway has definitely been my favorite in the series so far. Throughout the series, you're following these siblings throughout college, and they all play different sports. So the first brother plays football, the second brother plays hockey, and the third brother plays baseball. So I'm just going to go ahead and read the synopsis for you guys. Nikolai: hockey is my life, and I need to make this last season count. But when I'm forced to transfer to rival school McGee University for my senior year, I risk pissing off the captain, who happens to be the older brother of Isabel Callahan, the gorgeous beam of sunshine I messed around with in secret this summer. Rekindling our fling could risk her brother icing me off the team, not to mention the fact that my scarred past makes having a real relationship impossible. And yet the moment I see Isabel again, all my wild, burning feelings come rushing back. Izzy, which, let me say first, I have loved Izzy in all of the books. She's the only sister in the whole group of brothers, so I'm super excited. Izzy: I have 2 goals for sophomore year. Win back my old volleyball position and forget I knew devilishly handsome hockey defenseman Nikolai Abeny Volkov. These names be tripping me up, y'all. As the youngest and only daughter in a family full of athletes, failure isn't an option. But when Nick crashes back into my life, I can't stay away from his broody charm. I'm determined to guard my heart this time. But between the furtive hookups and the heartfelt conversations, the line between friends with benefits and more begins to blur. As we fall deeper into a place we can't come back from unscathed, we'll have to make a choice: fight for a future together or watch it go up in flames. So that is Wicked Serve. I have loved these characters in these books. I think that is what's made me really enjoy all of the stories. Super excited to read this and get the series finished. And the last book of this library haul, I'm super excited about. It is a manga. We have volume 2 of Alice in Borderland. I finished volume 1, I think, 2 days ago, and I absolutely loved it. It's taking everything in me to not start the Netflix series. I really want to so bad. That's how much I love it. Where I'm like, I'm so glad there's a Netflix series. I'm so glad somebody has put this on a screen. Like, I cannot wait to watch it. I think it is absolutely phenomenal. It's going to be my priority TBR for the next few months. There's 9 volumes, so I'm going to be binging this manga series. I will read the back for all of you, just so you know what it's about. I think the back is the same on all of the mangas. So forgive me if name pronunciation is not correct. 18-year-old Ryoe Arisu is sick of his life. School sucks, his love life is a joke, and his future feels like impending doom. As he struggles to exist in a world that can't be bothered with him, Ryoi feels like everything would be better if he were anywhere else. When a strange fireworks show transports him and his friends to a parallel world, Ryoi thinks all his wishes have come true. But this new world isn't an empty paradise. It's a vicious game, and the only way to survive is to play. So that is Alice in Borderland. Honestly, I recommend if you are a person that is not into manga or just you don't read manga a lot, I recommend reading Alice in Borderland. There's only 9 volumes. They are pretty thick, but it's worth it. Like, this story is just so awesome. It's so awesome. That's the only way I can put it. It's amazing. It's phenomenal. I love it. And I absolutely devoured the first volume. Like, I am so excited to keep on going. I honestly was like, I'm going to not read anything except for Alice in Borderland. But I really have other books that I want to get read and that I want to borrow from my library before I graduate. So I was like, okay, let me just, if I really could just sit and just read this book, I would. But that's not realistic. So that is all for the library haul portion of this video. So I'm going to talk to you guys about my recent DNFs now. Well, there's only two, but we're going to have a conversation about that. So sadly, the first DNF that I have for you guys is Keep Me by Sarah Kate. I know, y'all. I know it. It's sad. I had, how many pages did I have? I stopped at page 241. And there's almost 320 pages in this book. And honestly, I just couldn't really do it anymore. Sadly, I just couldn't do it anymore. I really love the Salacious Players Club series. I'm still reading that series. I'm excited about the next book. I'm going to get to it when I get to it, honestly. It's just a series that I'm continuing and that I'm still reading. And so I was really excited and anticipating Keep Me. And it just was very insta-lovey. I don't want to say insta-lovey. It's just very... The question I was asking when I was reading this is, y'all like each other, but nothing has happened. Like, y'all started off not liking each other, but there was no, like, conversation, really, no growth. Of course, there was sexual tension, obviously, but there's no really, like, they weren't really connecting verbally with each other. They weren't discussing anything about each other. To each other that would make them grow feelings for each other. So I was like, how do y'all love each other? What's going on? What's going on here? Maybe y'all are attracted to each other, but I don't know. And it just, nothing was happening between them for them to be able to develop the feelings that they were having. And it would just, I was like, okay, whatever. And most of the time when things like that happen, I'm like, okay, I can let that slide. Like, I don't really, I guess I don't really need that. But this story, I guess, kind of called for it. I've read books where I didn't really need much of that, but I don't know. I mean, maybe I haven't. I don't know. In this book, it just wasn't working for me. And then the part where I stopped, she was like running off into the rain, and I was like, and he was chasing after her into the woods. And I was like, no, I can't do it. That just it's not my thing. It's giving like when Debbie Ryan did like the little smile thing. That's the same kind of vibes I got from it. You know what I mean? It's just like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, I couldn't do it anymore. And I was like, maybe I'll come back to it and finish it. But I was sad I didn't like this book. And because I really love Sarah Kate's other books and the Salacious Player Club series. And I'm still going to read her other series and her other books because I enjoy her writing. Her writing was not really an issue. It was just an issue of the development of the characters and their feelings, but her writing is never really the problem. I enjoy her writing, and I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed, I'm forgetting her name, Sylvie, and I enjoyed Killian. They didn't bother me. Yeah, I guess that's really all I have to say about this book. So the next book my camera battery's on 1, so let's make this short. The next book I'm sad about. because I've had this on my TBR for literal years. I think since I was in high school. Let me not lie, because when was this published? 2019? Yeah, since high school. I graduated until 2021. We have Opposite of Always by Justin A. Reynolds. And the beginning of this book was stellar. I really liked the beginning really grabs your attention. It makes you excited about what's about to happen, what's going on. Basically, let me explain what's happening, what this book is about. So, Opposite of Always is a book about Jack and Kate. Kate dies and Jack gets sent back in time. That's pretty much it. They're falling in love, whatever. He wants to save her, make sure, she doesn't die. But I guess if she doesn't die, somebody else close to him dies. So he's really got this whole situation going on. And I was about maybe 150 pages into this book. And I mean, I don't even know where I stopped. I'm going to donate it. I didn't, what's it called? Dog ear the page where I stopped. I was over 100 pages into the book, and he had just went back in time, and him and Kate are meeting again. And I was like, I'm not going to be doing this again. I didn't really vibe with the writing style, but that was okay. I was like, maybe I'll like the story anyway. But once I got to it again, and it was just like, I was like, this book is 400 pages. I already knew that the 400 pages with the time travel aspect, that it was probably going to be a little bit slow, but I don't know. I just wasn't engaged with the story, and I wasn't vibing with the writing style. And when he went back in time to when they first met, I was like, honestly, I don't think I can do this again. Like, I really don't think I can do this for another 100 pages. And he wasn't really trying to figure anything out. He was just meeting Kate again. And of course, there's an initial shock, like, whoa, I'm back in time. But I wanted it to be a bit more fast paced. And so because when he went back in time and nothing was really picking up from what I was reading, I was like, I'm not going to finish this, because I'm already kind of not really liking the writing style. And it just wasn't really, I didn't want to waste my time on a book that I knew I was not going to enjoy. But that's not to say that other people won't enjoy this book. I think there are people on Goodreads who said that they did like the writing style and who gave it really high ratings. So I think if you're patient enough for this kind of story and you like the writing style, then I think you would enjoy this book. But I'm not that patient, and I was intrigued by this book because of the time travel aspect and things like that, and going back in time. But yeah, I think if you're patient enough and you like the writing style, that you probably would enjoy this book, but it just was not for me, which made me sad, because this has been a book I've been wanting to read for years, and I was finally able to find it at Secondhand Charles for $2.95. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I was excited to read it, and it's YA. I was super excited about it. And so it just didn't meet the expectations that I had. Those are the two books that I have recently DNF'd. I'm going to change my camera battery. So yeah, we're going to do that first, and then I'll come back and we can talk about my recent fave reads. All right, guys. So we've successfully changed the battery. We have a full battery now. I know, so exciting. Now let's get to discussing the recent faves. We're going to end the video on a high note. First recent fave is Charming as a Verb by Ben Felipe. I gave this book 4 stars. And I will read the synopsis I'll read the synopsis on here. I read this book on my Kindle, and I also checked it out as a library book. Henry Haltwanger can charm just about anyone. He is a star debater and popular student at a prestigious Fate Academy, the dutiful first-generation Haitian son and the trusted dog walker of his wealthy New York City neighbors. But his easy smiles mask a burning ambition to attend his dream college, Columbia University. There is only one person who seems immune to Henry's charms, his intense classmate and neighbor, Corinne Troy. When she uncovers Henry's less than honest dog walking scheme, she blackmails him into helping her change her image at school. Henry agrees, seeing a potential upside for himself. Soon, what started as a mutual hustle turns into something more surprising than either of them ever bargained for. This is a sharply funny and insightful novel about the countless hustles we have to keep from doing the hardest thing, being ourselves. This book was... okay. This book was very fun. I did laugh. It was funny. I loved Henry and I loved Corinne. I was smitten for them and they were smitten for each other. And honestly, I really enjoyed the book. I read this a while ago. I can't even remember when I finished it. Hold on. On March 16th, I finished this book. It's April 2nd. The thoughts that I do remember is that I enjoyed reading about more than just Henry and Corinne, reading about problems, the things that he was experiencing in his internally and externally. I really enjoyed. I'm trying not to give spoilers. It was a very well-rounded book when it came to characters and stories and the issues these characters are going through. It was a very well-rounded story. I will say, when me and my friend, my bestie Gianna, we were talking about this book because she read it after me and she gave it 3 stars, and she said that she didn't really like it that much because of the ending issue that happened. And I was talking to her and I was like, yeah, girl, honestly, in my head I was like, I don't know how you're gonna come back from this. I really don't know how you're gonna come back from this. But she didn't like that he came back from it, but I did, because I liked that it was a little later he came back, right? I'm trying to speak in non-spoiler terms, but I'm just a sucker for a happily ever after, so I don't know. I want me a happy ending. That's just me. I didn't really have that many gripes. I enjoyed the writing style, and every time I picked it up, I was fully immersed into the story. So it was a good read. The next book we have was almost an impulsive buy. Not almost. It was an impulsive buy. I'm on a book buying ban, as we all know. I'm on a book buying ban. So when I saw it and I read the back, I was like, oh, I want to read this so bad. So I had to see if my library had it, and they did, of course. And I was so freaking happy. I literally checked it out the next day. But we have Didn't See That Coming by Jessie Q. Sutanto. And this is a companion novel to Well, That Was Unexpected. I did not read Well, That Was Unexpected, and I don't believe you need to. It's a companion, so I don't think you need to read it. But I might go back and read it. I don't know. I mean, this was honestly just impulsive. I didn't even know anything about this book. I just saw it at Second and Charles, and I was like, oh, yeah, let me check the library. And they had it, which I was very shocked. But I was happy. But I was shocked because I was like, oh, my library has books that I'm like, oh, let me see if my library has that. And I was like, they do? Nice. Because I'm like, does anybody know about this book? But anyways, so happy they had this. This book follows, Kiki, I want to say Sieger, I believe. And she's a gamer girl that made me so happy. I love books with gaming in as part of the plot. I love it so much. And she pretends to be a boy online because obviously she's experiencing a lot of harassment and threats as a female gamer. She changes her name to Dude Bro 10, and she's pretending obviously to be a boy so she doesn't have to deal with that harassment, and she ends up making a friend, and she has been transferred to this new school by her parents, and that friend, whose name is Liam, is in the school and actually in her class. So she finds out, but he doesn't know, and so it's kind of just following that whole story. But the story was so much more than the love story. This was a story filled with feminism for young adults, because it explores the harassment and just kind of the disgusting things that women go through, not only in the gaming community, but in real life when facing the patriarchy. And I wasn't expecting that in the story at all. I mean, I read the synopsis and this was a much deeper book than I expected it to be. But I loved Kiki so much, and I loved Liam just as much. In the top 5 of my favorite YA novels, I really loved this book. and I did add it to my Rex list. Yeah, the quote, well-behaved women seldom make history. I don't know who said it. It says, coined by historian Laurel Thatcher Aldrich in a 1976 scholarly article. I walk by that quote that this professor has outside of their door, and I love that quote so much. And so I think this book is the literal epitome of that quote. The last book that I've already swooned about already, but is definitely a recent fave, is Alice in Borderland. I don't know if I need to talk anymore about it, but I'm just... it's going to be my personality for just the rest of my life, I think. I don't know if I'm going to find another manga that I love this much. This is just going to be my personality. I'm going to eat, sleep, and breathe Alice in Borderland for the next few months. And I'm going to watch the Netflix series. I'm going to watch the anime. I think there's an anime of it. I'm watching it. I'm consuming everything Alice in Borderland. I'm getting merch. I'm watching edits. Y'all gonna get sick of me. Y'all gonna get real sick of me about this book, but I highly recommend. It is so good. It is such a page turner. Everyone, that is all I have for you guys today. Wanted to come on here and sit down and talk about just what's been going on in my bookish life, give you guys some updates, and really just talk about the books that I have been loving. And I also wanted to use this video as a reminder to support your local library. There is so much stuff happening in the world right now, and it is important that we protect local libraries because they provide resources that people can often have a hard time getting their hands on. And if you have any books on your bookshelf that you just don't need or want anymore, donate them to your local library. Just any way that you can support your libraries, and because they do more than just provide books, they provide educational resources and technological resources that not everybody has access to. So it's important that we advocate for libraries, and it is important when they are attacked that we make sure we stick up for them. So yes, especially right now, it is so important that these resources that are free to communities, people continue to have access to them. And I will admit that back in the, what is it called? I don't want to say past. I will admit back in previous years, I have not been a user of my local library. I just started using Libby and Hoopla last year, I believe. If not last year, late 2023. And I have not been utilizing my local library enough, but I have been buying books. But it is important that people in the book community promote using local libraries more, as much as we promote book hauls when we buy books, as much as we promote the owning of books. In our library, we need to promote the borrowing of books. I have been trying to do that, just share more about my library and also utilize my library much more. And it also helps me save money. So it just goes to show how much of a resource local libraries can be in that aspect of reading. But like I said before, they are also a resource to people who don't have access to certain things that they need to succeed. I would just hate to see something that can often be taken for granted as a local library to kind of just fall because we're not advocating enough for them, especially now. So those are my thoughts. Those are my things. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you enjoyed, make sure you go visit your library whenever you can, whenever you have the free time. Go visit, go look at the inventory. I'm sure they have a book that is on your most anticipated TBR that you can go borrow from them today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I always enjoy sitting down and talking to you guys. And I would love talking to you guys in the comments about some of your recent DNFs, some of your recent reads. If you saw any books here that you have read, that you have thoughts on, let's talk about them in the comments. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.